BMW X7. Stolen from multiple places, one out of Miami, one out of Fort Lauderdale, one from a Hertz, I believe locally, that all had changed VINs. And altered, and then I believe potential attempting to sell them, a Nissan GTR, one of which there was an invoice for $16,450, I believe, regarding the Jeep.
To pay it for federal.
Do you know what page it refers to the guns?
I have it at the beginning. They did a search warrant for the defendant's home. They found 17 firearms, 5 different size ammunition. The guns were found in the primary bedroom with only male clothing and legal documents with the defendant's name. 2 of the firearms were stolen. ATF seized the weapons. He was a convicted felon. Where they also found a envelope with the multiple fraudulent VIN stickers of the multiple different vehicles.
Your Honor, just for the court's knowledge, he's already been seen by the federal court. Apparently, they put him on GPS monitoring for these offenses as well. So he has to, after he deals with them here, he has to go get the GPS monitoring put on him. So I don't know what's going on in the federal, but he's saying they're the same offenses that he was seen on in federal court for as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just ask that you consider that when setting bond, but he has to have the GPS monitoring on him once he's released.
PTR, do we have anything regarding federal or him coming or going from federal?
He said it was yesterday.
I don't really care.
They're the ones that brought me here. Well, when they gave me the orange account.
All right, on counts 1 through 17, I will set bond in the amount of $5,000 per count. On 18 through 22, the ammunition charges, I will set bond in the amount of $2,000 per count. Okay. Special condition, possess no weapons, which you're not supposed to be doing anyway, because you're a convicted felon. Anything else?
In my review of the out on bond, Your Honor, it looks like all these events are stemming from the same incident. It's showing me this out on bond was from December 27th of 2024.
State would request no action, Your Honor.
No action on the out on bond. I don't want to complicate anything.
On his 2 new laws, the 924 and the 1416, state's requesting that they go to 14 with the
So happy I'm not a circuit judge.
Jana Smith, Devin, refuse.
Waive, Your Honor. We just argue no PC to the gang enhancement as well, Your Honor. There's no mention of him being in a gang.
And the council's correct, state would amend to the F2, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 790.23-7.
Okay, on Devin Smith, I find probable cause for the burglary of a structure, burglary of a conveyance, and possession of firearm by a convicted felon, but not with the gang enhancement. So as amended, I'll set bond on the burglary of a structure at $7,500, on burglary of a conveyance, $7,500, on the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon at $10,000. Special condition, possess no weapons. He's also currently out on bond for possession of fentanyl, resisting an officer without violence, possession of methamphetamine, possession of cocaine. I'm going to do him a favor and not take any action on those. So appoint the public defender to represent him.
And state would just request a no return, no contact.
No return, no contact. Okay. He refused, right? I just want to make sure. Did he refuse or was that a medical?
Refused.
Refused. Okay, yeah, I don't. Oh, wait. Okay, good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Shahibah Smith.
Okay, Mr. Smith. Let's see. You were arrested and charged with open carrying a firearm as well as possession of cannabis over 20 grams with a weapon. I reviewed this. I do find probable cause for both counts. I'll stay the bond at $1,000 on count 1 and $2,500 on count 2. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, you also have a charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. And I'll set bond at, I find probable cause, I'll set bond at $500, appoint the public defender to represent you.
You have 3. You have no valid.
So,
All right, sir, could you tell me your name for the record?
Bobby Strong.
Okay, Mr. Strong. Okay. One at a time. You were, these on different dates. Yes, okay, this one actually comes first. Sir, you were arrested and charged with trafficking in fentanyl over 4 grams. Count 2, here. Trafficking in methamphetamine, 14 grams or more. Count 3, possession of OxyContin. Count 4, possession of fentanyl. Count 5, possession of firearm by a convicted felon.
I'm not a convicted felon.
Excuse me?
Not a convicted felon. I have a gun permit.
Could somebody repeat what he said? I didn't.
He said he's not a convicted felon, Your Honor.
I'll confirm, Your Honor.
You know what? Not in a convicted felon. Possession of firearm in the commission of a felony. I apologize, sir. It's been a really long day. I'm beginning to run out of gas here. Okay. Possession of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Tampering with physical evidence. Possession of drug paraphernalia. Another charge of tampering with physical evidence. And then you have a second case of smuggling contraband into a correctional institution. obstructing justice by tampering with evidence, as well as possession of cannabis. I've reviewed these. I find probable cause in all of these matters. State, do any of these require a hearing, a pretrial detention hearing? I thought they
Yes,
did.
Your Honor. As to the 3680 case, as to count one, the trafficking in fentanyl, given that probable cause has been found, that is an enumerated offense under 907-041. We're requesting it remain as zero bond with a pretrial detention date with 3 days to file our motion.
Oh, no, I was just saying.
Okay, granted, count one will be no bond. Any of the others?
And then as to count two, the trafficking in the meth, state would ask for the schedule. The schedule is 50. And we just asked for subsidiaries on the additional counts.
I was just looking for the
Okay. So on 25 CF 3680, count one, no bond, schedule a pretrial detention hearing. Count two, 50,000.
understand. I'm just telling you, the law changed. There's nothing for me to legally argue that would get you, so you have that hearing. There's nothing I could say. 27th is next week, next Tuesday.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Oscar Sarum.
Okay, sir, you were arrested on a warrant. Judge Dean found probable cause on the charges of trafficking in cocaine, 28 grams or more, first-degree felony. Also trafficking in fentanyl, 28 grams or more. Count three, trafficking in fentanyl, 28 grams or more. Count four, trafficking in cocaine. And count five, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. He's already found probable cause. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. State, do you have a position as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. As to count 2 and 3, upon the finding of probable cause, there's no discretion for bond on those cases at this time. We're requesting that 2 and 3 be changed to no bond with a pretrial detention date, as it is an enumerated offense under 907-0415D, and he's not entitled to bond at this time. And we'd ask for the pretrial detention date with 3 days to file. Additionally, as to 1, 4, and 5, he is currently entitled to bond on those charges. State would argue that the bond set on them are very low, but given that is no bond status on 2 and 3 and him having a hearing, state has no argument as to changing them at this time.
Okay. I too reviewed that and thought that was awfully low. So on counts 2 and 3, the court will set them at no bond and will schedule a pretrial detention hearing in those matters. And in counts 1, 4, and 5, I'll stay the bonds that Judge Dean gave him. And again, appoint the public defender.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna get out. You don't have any history. Yeah. Or one.
Quiet in case another case
You're
comes
gonna get
up.
one. You just-
Okay. Are we done? Are you done? Are you done? Oh my God.
By pager, phone, any social media, third parties in writing, et cetera, and you have to stay at least 500 feet away from this victim, victim's home, place of employment, or school at all times. Now, that's it. Okay. Now, you were saying, Mr. Teichler, you can proceed now with your
Thank you.
argument.
I was just saying that there are modes that Your Honor could implement if Your Honor is worried about safety of the community or the victim. placing this young man on house arrest versus him sitting in jail until a bond, at least over the weekend, until we can get a bond hearing set.
Right. But the court also has to be mindful of other factors. There's not only the ones that you've quoted. Respectfully, I'm denying your request. My ruling stand. Okay, thank you and good luck.
And is that with the PTD hearing, Judge?
No,
I'm sorry,
Motion?
I didn't hear you.
Is that a hold for the motion?
there was no motion on this case. It's pending our authorities.
There's no motion pending. The one was not filed. Okay. All right, we're going back on the regular calendar. Amanda Martinez, page 1.
She's a private attorney, Greg Amigo. I will promote.
Thank you. Carolino,
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
okay, you're here on behalf of Amanda Martinez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does she speak English?
I believe so.
Yes, I do, my honor. Yes, I do.
The PD has been appointed, discharging as private counsel. All right, Ms. Martinez, you're here before the court because it is alleged that on March 24th of this year in the vicinity of 19100 Northwest 37th Avenue in Miami Gardens, you committed the offense of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, 1 count of discharge of a firearm from a vehicle, and 1 count of shooting or throwing a deadly missile. Okay, I am going to review the arrest affidavit now to make a finding, to see if there's probable cause and address your bond status. The alleged victim in this case is a person by the name of Leonel Mesa Waterman with a date of birth of June 21st, 1994. Okay, let me just,
So Judge, a couple things. It looks like it should be an assault with a firearm rather than a battery with a deadly weapon. And it looks like all 3 charges relate back to the same set of facts. I did not see any criminal history.
I didn't see one. I was going to ask you about that. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just review the A form. Now, do you have any argument? Let me just review it, and then I'll ask you, Mr. Imoto.
Okay, Judge.
All right, the allegations set forth is that it's alleged that the defendant fired a round at the victim's vehicle, striking the right rear lower bumper of the vehicle that the victim was in. Okay. All right. Did you wish to argue, Mr. Imoto?
Judge, no, I concur with the state attorney with respect to the aggravated assault with a firearm and do not have any probable cause arguments.
Is there any accompanying injunction or domestic violence stay away orders?
The A form says there's no history of domestic disturbance between the victim and the offender, so I'm assuming no.
Okay. All right. What is the state looking for here?
A bond, because it all relates back to the same facts, maybe split the bond a little bit.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. On count 1, I'm setting bond at $5,000. Count 2, 2,500. Count 3, 7,500. These are pretty serious charges. Very serious, okay? There's gonna be a stay away order entered into place. These are people end up dead. Okay, and I want Miss Martinez, listen very carefully, okay? Part of the conditions of your release, if you're able to postpone, are the following. You cannot engage in any criminal activity, ma'am. You cannot use or possess any illegal drugs. Can you hear me? I want to make sure you hear me. Okay, you cannot use, purchase, possess, carry any firearm, gun, weapon, or ammunition. You must immediately surrender any firearms, ammunition, or any concealed weapons permits to the nearest police office, police department, and file the receipt with the court. Understood?
Yes, yes, sir.
You are prohibited from having any direct or indirect contact with the following persons here and now. The victim, Leonel Mesa Waterman, including any contact in person, in writing, by telephone, through social media, or through third persons. You must stay at least 500 feet away from this victim, the victim's home, place of employment, and or school at all times. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the full bond should be $15,000 with a stay away order. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge. Thanks.
No, ma'am.
Next case is Jessica Hammock.
Present.
Hammock, okay, you're here before the court, ma'am, because it is alleged that on March 13th of this year, in the area of 14721 Northeast 6th Avenue, apartment 33A in Miami, you committed the offense of burglary of an unoccupied dwelling. Okay, is this a warrant?
No, I think the officer checked the box because they want a nebia, so it would be up to the court.
Nebula.
Right, I'm not sure if it's appropriate. Allegations are that she stole a pressure washer valued at $350 from the victim's cartilage, the trailer park.
I'm not inclined to put a nebula requirement.
I also don't have the victim's name, so if Your Honor would just do a stay away order from the location.
Who is the, because I have the location at
Just-
147.
I don't have the victim's name.
Okay, all right.
Judge, Ms. Hammock does not have funds for a bond. Would Your Honor consider house arrest as an alternate for her?
No, ma'am, not on these charges. Setting bond at $7,500 with a stay away order. Okay, Miss Hammock, one of the conditions of your release is that you cannot go anywhere near this property, 14721 Northeast 6th Avenue, apartment or lot 33A in Miami. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Next case is Esteem Wilson.
This is set for a PC hearing tomorrow. I'll agree to the ROR today.
I'm sorry?
It's set for a PC hearing tomorrow, but I spoke to the detective. I'll agree to the ROR today. It's a,
On this bond. He has a no bond hold in another case, F253366.
so she should still have that no bond hold, but on the new case, we can do an ROR, or if Ms. Corey prefers $1, since she's got the holds.
I'll do $1 each count.
And it's because you cannot bring in the detective?
Well, I can bring the detective, and I spoke to him, but it's a tough constructive possession case. So I think at this point, it'd be better just to agree to the ROR, and we'll see what we ultimately file.
Okay. And you may not file anything, is basically what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, we've got a month to figure out the evidence.
So the state and defense agreement on R?
I think because she's got the AC no bond anyways, we're agreeing to $1 on every count.
Okay, so now it's $1, okay.
But with no PC. So it's by stipulation.
It's 4 counts, correct? Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
No PC found, okay. And it's off tomorrow's calendar because it was set for tomorrow.
Correct. So she should go before a division judge tomorrow on the AC.
So corrections, just so you know, no PCs found. The state's not going forward on the PC hearing tomorrow, so it's $1, count one, $1, count two, $1, count three, $1, count four, and he still has a no bond hold in F25-3369, okay? Next case is Tyler Johnson.
This court was trying to get him into the hospital. Any information?
I have not heard back yet from the hospital. Would you be okay if we passed it for a little while, Judge, to see if they respond?
And let's see the answer, please. Okay, the next case is Robert McKenzie.
Mr. Kent?
No, he refused.
He refused, Judge.
It was reset for tomorrow.
Oh, reset. 328. Next case is Cleaver Vargas Rodriguez.
Reset NBC.
Hey, Ms. Court, if you want to look into benefits for him too.
I'm sorry, Nessa, what did you say?
It looks like it says that the officers were dispatched to a potential Baker Act, so he may have some mental health issues and need stabilization. So the PD may want to run for benefits. So if we can reset it for tomorrow on BC.
Okay, reset 320. We did Fernando Herrera. The next one is Willie Smith.
Reset disruptive.
Ms. Court, you want to waive his presence? He's out on felony bond.
Yeah, this
Yes, we can do that.
okay. PD works.
He's out on felony bond on 6 cases.
6 cases, okay. So he has no bond hold on those corrections?
Right, the state's requesting a hold for Judge Venzer.
Is this all these cases in front of Judge Venzer? Because I have here F25-3889, F25-3890, 3904, 3963, and 4158. Those are the ones.
Yes.
Okay. All right, the added charges here are grand theft in third degree of vehicle, possession of cocaine, suspect rock cocaine, introduction of possession of a controlled substance into a jail facility. And then the other one is driving while license suspended, which is
Those are not before you, Judge.
the last.
The DWLSs is not before you. They reset him tomorrow.
I have those arguments.
Okay.
Ms. Court, you do or you don't have a PCR?
I do.
Is it count 3?
Count 1 and count 3. For count 1, there's nothing indicating that Mr. Smith was aware that the car was stolen. He indicates that he knew the rentee of the vehicle, was allowed to borrow the car for a few days. He actually had the keys with him. So there would be no knowledge for the theft charge. And in count 3, it looks like the police did not search him appropriately if they're claiming that once he got into corrections here at the jail, that in the bag that he had in his jacket pocket, there was an item inside the paper bag. So it looks like no one bothered to search him.
Want to stipulate to $1 on 3?
That's fine.
I think there's PC on 1 that's recently stolen.
He was driving. Yep. All right, I'm finding probable causes to 1 and 2. Each of those is a $2,500 bond, $1 on count 3, no PC on that one. So that's $5,000. And he has hold on the other 6 in front of Judge Venzer.
Count 3, you said no PC release outright?
$1 on that one. Actually, It's release outright on that one. If I didn't find PC, let me change it. It's release outright.
So
Thank you.
count 3 is a release outright, not a
Yes.
dollar.
I'm okay with $1. He's being held on other charges. Okay, thank you.
Procedurally, it's incorrect.
It's by stipulation, because if the state does ultimately file, he'll get CTS on it.
Get it. All right, okay. So what do we leave it at? So corrections won't be the wrong amounts. It's $1 or release outright.
$1, please.
$1 corrections. Okay, thank you. All right, the next one is Joseph Lawrence White.
Present.
Okay, Mr. White, good afternoon, sir. Okay, let's see what we got here.
I show he's a VFOX. He's on probation. He's in custody being held no bond, F201059.
Okay. All right, on this case. Take a look.
And just for the record, we'll be invoking Mr. White's right to counsel and his right to remain silent.
All right, Mr. White. You are out on probation in case number, it looks like F201059. You'll be held no bond on that one. In this case, it is alleged, this is case number F256251, that actually there's two cases. Okay, so let's start with the 6251. It is alleged that on March 26th of this year, in the vicinity of Northwest 63rd Street and 18th Avenue, you committed the following offenses: possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, tampering with physical evidence, possession of cannabis within 1,000 feet of a church or convenience store, resisting an officer without violence to his person, possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less, and one count of providing a false name after arrest. That's that case. In case number F256252, it's alleged that on February 10th of 2025, in the vicinity of 2185 Northeast 167th Street, apartment number 8 in North Miami Beach, you committed the offense of attempted felony murder, causing injury, aggravated assault with intent to commit a felony, and battery with prejudice. Okay. I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you in these cases. And so let me take a look at the arrest affidavit to determine probable cause and also to determine your bond status on these cases. Okay, any argument with regards to the 6251 case?
Judge, I'm gonna admit that it's circumstantial. The defendant ran, the officers heard the thumping noise consistent with a heavy object, and then they found the gun a few yards from where he was initially standing, and they also found the marijuana. His excuse was that he was urinating, but there was no sign that he was urinating, and that it looked like the gun hadn't been there a long time because it wasn't, rusted or anything like that. So I think there is probable cause, but I will acknowledge that it is circumstantial. The cannabis, I'll agree to. Maybe, a reduced bond on. I don't know if this court has anything else.
So Judge, If they didn't see Mr. White with a gun, they find a gun yards away and then claim it's his without any other information, Judge, that's just not sufficient for possession of a firearm by a felon, Judge. It's just not. They never saw him in possession of it. They have nothing indicating that it belonged to him. In addition, nothing with regard to tampering with the physical evidence because they never saw him with a firearm. The cannabis is described as 4 baggies. They're saying that it was in the area where he was first seen. So just being in the area where he's seen is not sufficient, Judge. It's wishful thinking on the police department's behalf, but it's.
This area, at the first paragraph described as a high crime area.
The only other thing I want to add, Ms. Corey, is that he admitted to the cannabis, but he said the gun wasn't his, but in his statement, he said the cannabis was his.
I'm sorry, Corey, I interrupted you to just make that observation. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So Judge, at best, then it would just be possession. Simple possession of marijuana. And I don't see any allegations of a false name. Maybe I missed it, but
I looked at it and I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see right to counsel. I didn't see that either. Just
No. Because he's being held anyways, $1. If Ms. Corey wants to know more, that's fine too.
Well, there's I'm not finding PC as to counts 1, 2.
Count 5 is possession of marijuana, Judge, so no public cause for count 3 then.
Or the resisting.
That's him taking off running.
Count, the only count that there's PC here is count 5. Possession of marijuana. There's nothing else. So counts 1
I'll
correction.
agree to $1 bond for the ones that you have no probable cause for, Judge.
Okay.
So this is being held on other things.
All right, okay, so, because I'm not finding PC on counts 1, 2, 3, and 4 as written on the safe form. So stipulated $1, and then as to what count 1, 2, 3, and 4, each $1, and then count 5, $500. Okay.
And count 6, $1? That's the
That-
false. Yeah.
$1. Wait a minute then. Yes, count 6, $1. Okay.
So only on count 5 is 500 and 1, 2, 3.
Everyone else, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, $1. Okay. That's that case. Now, the other case, the one ending is 6252, the one that he's charged with 1 count of attempted felony murder, 1 count of aggravated assault with intent to commit a felony, and 1 count of battery with prejudice.
So I think a more appropriate charge would be an attempted second with a deadly weapon.
Well, the alleged injuries here are 4 to 5 inch wide and 2 inch deep slash across the chest.
I think it would be an attempted second-degree murder with a deadly weapon.
The restroom also indicates that the alleged victim picked up a skillet and tried to attack Mr. White.
That was after, I believe, the defendant approached the victim and punched him in the face. So the defendant was the initial aggressor.
What's this battery with prejudice?
So it's because the alleged victim, I believe, is transgender, and the defendant made a homophobic remark.
And this gentleman is
On probation.
on probation in 6 cases.
No, he's on probation in 1 case.
Okay, and this is the one, which is the one that you're moving to? This is the one that you filed a motion for pretrial detention.
The attempted murder, yes.
Got it. Okay. Any argument, Ms. Corey?
Judge, there's nothing indicating that Mr. White attempted to murder the alleged victim. The alleged victim was going at him with a skillet, Judge, from the kitchen.
All right. Court has reviewed the arrest affidavit, the motion filed by the state. And the court is going to make the following findings. I find probable cause as to count 1 for attempted second-degree murder. I am granting the state's order for pretrial detention on that count, so it's going to be out no bond on count 1. With regards to count 2, it'll be $5,000. And count 3 is $5,000. There will be, he's able to post bond and be released despite all the other matters that he has. There's a stay away order against the, in favor of, he's prohibited from having any contact direct or indirect with the alleged victim, whose initials are TM. You understand that, Mr. White, which means no direct or indirect contact with this individual, either by person, pager, third parties, social media. You have to stay at least 500 feet away from the victim's home, place of employment, or school at all times.
Amen.
Right, and the conditions of be released. You cannot engage in any criminal activity. You cannot use or possess any illegal drugs. You cannot use or possess any firearms, guns, weapons, or ammunitions. And if you have any of those, you need to surrender them to the nearest police station and file the receipt with the court. And again, you're prohibited from having any contact, direct or indirect, with the alleged victim whose initials are T. Here it's a little bit more specific, VM. So that's 3 initials. You understand that? Okay. There's 2 victims here. I just realized this is John Harris Jr. Yeah, this on the second one. Okay.
Mike, there we go.
Good luck to you, sir.
Let me turn on my camera. Let me see here.
Next case is Lorenzo Serrano.
Here we go. Ah, perfect timing.
Judge, I have him out on F24 3557 Alpha.
What up, Cha-Cha? How's it going?
Yes. On F24 3557A.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's out on bottom. So there should be a no hold, no bond hold on that one until he goes in front of that judge. Is this Mr. Serrano?
Yes, Judge.
Does he speak English?
Yes.
Okay. It looks like he's out on bond on more than one case.
Damn, that fool looks like the
And
Pittsburgh
I have a note
Doughboy.
here that he's
Looks
out
real
on
young.
bond in front of Judge Altfield in cases numbered F-24 35578, which we discussed, and 820 F-24 15618. Yes,
There we go. I look like I'm
so
in
he'll be held on both those. Okay, on this case, Mr. Serrano, which is the F-256254, it is alleged
What
that
up,
on
Coco?
March 25th of this year, in the vicinity of 20781 Northwest 17th Avenue, Miami Gardens, you've committed the offense of attempted felony murder with a firearm,
Damn, another one?
armed robbery with a firearm, aggravated battery with great bodily harm and or with a firearm, aggravated assault with a firearm. Actually, let me go back because there's 4 counts of armed robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon, and there are 4 counts with for aggravated assault with a firearm.
Damn it.
Alleged victims in this case are Iverson Asensio, another one with the initials AR, another one with the initials GF, and another one with the initials SA. The state of Florida has filed a motion for pretrial detention pursuant to 907-4041, asking that it be held no bond in the either life or first degree felonies,
What up, Ostrich?
which constitute counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I believe, if I have those right. Okay, I'm going to review now the arrest affidavits, determine probable cause, and address the motions filed by the state.
For the record, we'll be invoking Mr. Serrano's right to counsel and his right to remain silent.
Thank you.
Man, imagine I couldn't even imagine being in a situation like that. Like being right there, being live stream, everybody being up on my business. And not only that, I'm gonna go to prison for a very long time. All I'm gonna be eating is freaking noodles, Snyder's jalapeno pretzels, if you will, some wham whams, some zoom zoom, and some wham whams. And I'm not gonna be able to be with a woman. Nah, I'm straight. Let me see. Who was that right there? No women. Right to Alex. Dorset, hey, welcome. Yeah, gee, did he have 4.0 GPA? That's right. I don't think so. He don't look like a 4.0 GPA type of person, if you will. He's gonna be somebody's. Ooh. Prepare your prison purse. Could you imagine the being? Oh, nah, man. I'm glad I got no sons. I got nothing but girls, if you will. Let me see. I'll be so depressed. The prison wallet, huh? Man, yeah, when they put, like.
All right, any argument, state?
I never been
Judge,
to
I believe
prison.
there's probable cause requesting that the defendant be held no bond pending the determination on the pretrial detention hearing.
Come out of suitcase. Yeah, no, that fool looks real young. Real young. I would say, if I'm guessing, he's like 20 years old at the least. And he doesn't look like he's like with the business. So I don't know.
Judge, with regard to probable cause, it looks like they're duplicitous charge of the aggravated battery with the attempted murder.
He has a tissue so he could cry. Attempted unaliving.
The allegation is that
One,
the gunshot wound was to the leg area, Judge. There's nothing indicating that he was attempting to kill anybody. The statement made to the police on the arrest form is that he felt threatened at the time.
You felt threatened at the time. The reals, they're gonna have fun with him. Hell, James. Hey, thank you. Highly appreciate that. That's right. I forgot. Yeah. Let's get to the 20K, if you will. so we can get to the FYP, even though my account's heavily restricted right now. TT be tripping. Hey, oh yeah, we're about to be hitting 10K. Yeah, if you haven't done so, please do so. Hit that follow button. It's free 99. Don't be that person. Don't be Mr. Krabby Patty. Don't be Uncle Scrooge, if you will. So admitting guilt, nah.
All right. I've reviewed the arrest affidavits, reviewed the motions filed by the state. The court is going to grant the motion for pretrial detention.
Oh,
In
snap.
count 1, counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, and in count 6, he will be held no bond.
Oh, no, he
In
ain't going
counts
nowhere.
1 through 6.
What's the point of giving no
With
pre-trial?
regards to count 7, he will be 7 through 10, $5,000 bond each. I will be entering stay away orders
What up, Paco Taco, if
for
you
the
will?
following, and I need Mr.
Psych.
Serrano to listen carefully.
That was probably
He
all
was able
happy.
to post bond on this case. Okay.
Is it a
You
female?
cannot have, sir, any contact whatsoever
Nah.
with
Not now. Not
either
at least
son
yet.
Asensio. That means no direct or indirect. You have to stay at least 500 feet away from this individual, his home, place of employment, school at all times. The other victim with initials AR, same thing. The other victim, initials GF,
If you will.
same thing. And another victim with a name with initials SA, same thing. Additional requirements under this particular case, it'll be bond, if he's able to post bond, plus the GPS, total lockdown.
Damn, hey, you know what? I think that's like probably like one of the scariest things.
Sorry. So on count 7 through 10, is it 5,000 plus house arrest?
Yes. And counts 1 through 5, no, 1 through
It
6,
was
no
all a
bond.
dream.
Judge, the private attorneys are wanting to know if they could be taken
Like
out
that
of the
fool?
They've been here for about 2.5 hours.
That fool don't even
waiting.
have any
He would be
facial hair.
willing to do that.
Imagine. Damn, his face looked like it was like silky,
Sure, we're on page
silky
5
soft,
out of,
if you will.
okay, how many do we have here? We're midway, I think, 5 through 11. Who's the first attorney? You have to give me-
First attorney would be,
Wait, come on, get out.
Baby soft, baby
it
soft.
would be Michael Meyer on Alejandro Pujol, number 15. And then right after that would be Jay White on Alfredo Paraguan Marin.
Hey, they're gonna be
Both
calling.
cases are on page 6.
Hey, that fool's new name is gonna be Charmin, because it's gonna be soft as
Alejandro,
some two-ply paper, if you will.
yes, number 15.
Yes,
Okay.
Alejandro Pujol, Spanish interpreter for Mr. Pujol, please.
Charmin.
Thank you. Good
All right.
afternoon, Mr. Meyer.
Judge Espinoza, good afternoon to you.
Okay, are you having Mr. Alejandro Puyol?
I do, Judge. He needs the interpreter.
Interpreter, yes, ma'am.
Interpreter present.
All right. Your client is before the court. There's an affidavit here that I've received, an arrest affidavit that states that on December 13th of 2024, in the vicinity of 1499 North Homestead Boulevard in Homestead, he
No.
committed the offense of felony battery.
Tengo aquí una declaración jurada del 13 de diciembre del 2024 en el que se dice que en las inmediaciones del 1499 Norte de Homestead Boulevard, usted cometió el delito de agresión física con agravantes.
Alleged victim has initials JT, and apparently it's occurred at the Walmart store at the address that I just read out. Okay.
Damn.
Las
Not the
iniciales de
Walmart.
la víctima son GLT, GTL, y estaba en el Walmart, en la dirección que ha indicado.
En el
All
Walmart.
right, we're going to review the arrest affidavit momentarily and to address his bond status, and then I'll hear argument.
The state's just seeking standard bond with the stay away order.
La fiscalía busca una fianza estándar.
There's no enhancement here, so this is a $5,000 bond with stay away.
50
Judge, I don't oppose that.
$5,000 y una orden de alejamiento, dice el juez.
let me just let Mr. Guillon know what the contents of the stay away order is. He cannot have any contact, direct or indirect, with the alleged victim in the case.
Señor, no puede tener contacto directo o indirecto con la víctima en este caso.
Which means no contact in person, in writing, by telephone, pager, or fax with third persons.
Lo que significa que no puede tener contacto en persona, por escrito, por teléfono, a través de las redes sociales u otro medio electrónico, mensajes de texto.
Did she say pager?
He has to stay at least 500 feet away from his home, his placement, or school at all times.
Did she know that pagers ain't a thing anymore since like the
En
90s?
todo momento, al menos a 500 pies de la víctima, de su casa, lugar de trabajo y lugar de estudios.
You understand?
¿Comprende, señor?
All right, good luck.
Sí. Thank you very much, Judge, for taking me out of turn. Have a
Where
great
you
day.
at? Hey, can you use the two-way?
Next case,
Can I
I
use
need
the
to
next
call
tail
that
or what?
Alfredo Paraguan Marin.
Hit me on my
The next one
pager.
on the
Hit me on
calendar
the
right after
two-way.
Mr. Puyo.
Six.
Hit me on the two-way. Where you at?
Promoting Mr. White.
Hey, you guys know what that sound is.
All
If
right.
you guys are my age, you guys exactly know what that sound is, if you will.
Judge, good morning. Good to see you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sorry,
Hit me
my
on
head's
the
a little
chirp.
mushy.
Mr. White, this is your client, Mr. Paraguamarin.
Yes, Judge, he needs a Spanish interpreter, please.
You have him?
Interpreter present.
Okay, your client, Mr. Paraguamarin, is, it's alleged that on June 13th of 2023, in the vicinity of 6020 Northwest 99th Avenue, number 203, he committed the following offenses.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. Can interpreter have a repetition, please?
Yes, it is alleged that on June 13th of 2023, the defendant in the vicinity of 6020 Northwest 99th Avenue in Doral committed the following offenses.
Muy bien. Se alega que el acusado el 13 de junio del 2023 en las inmediaciones del 6020 Northwest 99 Avenida en Doral cometió el siguiente delito.
Count one, organized fraud of $50,000 or more.
Cargo número 1, organized
Fraud.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that word. Organized?
What?
Fraud. F-R-A-U-D.
Fraude.
I'm sorry. Un
Madunda.
fraude organizado de $50,000 o más.
Coma.
Number two, count two, to defraud a financial institution.
Defraudar una institución financiera.
Number three, grand theft to the second degree, which is from 20,000 to 100,000.
Okay. Esto es hurto mayor
Hurto
en segundo
mayor.
grado.
El segundo grado.
And count four, actually, there's more on the second page. Unlawful use of a communication device,
Uso ilícito de un dispositivo de comunicación.
Oh, this
fraudulent
this thing, I
use, the
can't even
next
say
count
that.
of a personal identification or possession with intent to use fraudulent identification.
Bueno, posesión de una identificación fraudulenta con intención de utilizarla.
Fraudulenta.
Obtaining a credit card by false statement.
Tarjeta de crédito con declaraciones falsas.
Her
Okay.
headset doesn't sound that good.
So what I'm going to do now is I'd like to take a look at this arrest affidavit. And then I'd like to hear argument from both sides in order to arrest
Lo
the
que voy a
boss.
hacer ahora es mirar voy a mirar la declaración jurada del arresto.
So he used the victim's personal identification to obtain a $60,000 loan.
60 smackers?
He
Damn.
created a fraudulent, a fake email address and phone number.
Okay. That's all it takes?
Que entonces utilizó la identificación
account
falsa
and
de
a
la víctima
phone
para
number?
obtener un préstamo de $60,000
That he used in the loan application.
Online.
Excuse me?
Okay, I'm taking
That he
notes here.
used in the loan application. The fake email and
Sí,
phone.
que utilizó una aplicación para pedir el préstamo.
There's no indication that an actual loan was given. In fact, count one and count three contradict each other. Count one, organized fraud, talks about 50,000 or more. count 3, grand theft, is only 20,000 or more. So that's a conflict. And if you go to page 3,
Excuse me, counsel, can you
sorry,
allow me,
my
please?
apologies.
Yeah. Bueno, realmente el cargo
500K?
número 1 y el cargo número 3 se contradicen. El
That's half
número
a
1 son
million
$50,000 o más.
You know
y
what
el
I could
cargo
do with
número
that?
2 son $20,000 o más. Aparte de eso,
Retire with 50
no hay
racks.
evidencias que recibiera ningún préstamo este señor.
The only evidence is on page 5, the last page. There's mention of a cash advance, but there's no amount.
La única prueba está en la página número 5, que se habla de un avance de dinero en efectivo, pero no se especifica la cantidad.
And the officer describes this as a financial institution. This is not a financial institution. If you Google the name,
Bien. Esto que se califica como una institución financiera realmente no lo es. Si se mete en Google es el nombre,
you'll notice that Mont Technology on the second page of the A form is a fintech platform. They're a broker for loans. They're not a bank.
sale Mod Technology y que realmente no son unos brokers, unos corredores de préstamos, no son un banco.
She
And
sounds
they're also
Spanish.
located in Georgia.
Están ubicados en Georgia.
And there's no indication that the victim is in Dade County, Florida. The only information I can gather is a 561 area code that was allegedly used.
Y no hay
She's making things up.
tampoco
She doesn't want
pruebas de que está
clarification
en la
anymore.
Florida. La única numeración que tenemos es el 561 como código de área.
So, Your Honor, I have questions about jurisdiction and questions about whether or not this is properly charged, and also the conflicts in the charges with regards to probable cause.
Tengo entonces algunas cuestiones respecto a la jurisdicción, si esto ha sido debidamente, estos cargos han sido debidamente cursados y también si existen motivos fundados para ellos.
The only evidence of anything happening in Dade County is my client's address.
La única evidencia de que algo sucedido en Dade County, en el condado de Dade, es cuando mira su dirección.
And I would argue, lastly, Your Honor, that a lot of the counts are duplicitous. Organized fraud, grand theft, defrauding a financial institution, using false statements to obtain credit. These are all duplicitous and contained within organized fraud or grand theft.
También yo diría que, bueno, pues que estos cargos que se le imputan están aparecen duplicados porque organización para defraudar, defraudar en gran cuantía, defraudar, todo eso cae dentro de un solo cargo que sería organización para defraudar.
So, Judge, I would suggest to the court that perhaps it impose a standard bond on count 3, which is grand theft, 20,000 to 100,000. I think that's what the facts represent at best.
Entonces yo diría que se podría poner, que la juez podría poner un solo cargo, que es el de hurto en mayor cuantía, sería el cargo número 3, que va de $20,000 a $100,000.
And the remaining counts be dollar bond, except for the communication device that asks for a standard bond.
Y que el resto de los cargos se le retire la fianza, excepto por el dispositivo de comunicación.
So if the defendant's in Miami trying to obtain these loans, I believe that the jurisdiction would lie in Miami.
Como el acusado está en Miami intentando obtener estos préstamos, yo creo que la jurisdicción cae aquí en Miami.
I think there's PC on everything.
Yo creo que hay motivos fundados en todo.
Which one's that one, Carrie?
All right. I've listened
G_OG
carefully.
Canada. Yesterday was
There's probable
bananas.
cause, Mr. White. What I think might end up is this might end up in federal court.
Yo creo que hay motivos fundados. Señor White, yo creo que esto va a terminar en un tribunal federal.
Damn, he's gonna go to federales.
The court is going to, and it appears from my reading that the loan was not, the application was not concluded. At least not that I can read from here.
Por lo que leo aquí, yo me parece que la solicitud del préstamo no
Oh,
fue conclusa, no se concluyó.
that was
It doesn't,
I
it
clipped
doesn't
that
specifically
video.
state,
I
but
put it on
that's
this
something
account.
obviously, will have to be.
Was it
But
that
for purposes of initial probable cause, and I don't understand why there would be a nebia requirement either, so.
what up, Lord?
I'm gonna find probable causes to all counts. On
No
count
veo
one,
por qué
I'm
que
tired.
no
I'm sleepy.
tendría que haber una audiencia nebia, una nebia. Aquí yo hallo que hay motivos fundados en los cargos.
I'm setting bond on count one at $15,000,
El primer cargo, fianza $50,000.
count two at $5,000,
Cargo número 2, $5,000.
count three at $500,
El cargo número 3, $500.
count four,
Cargo 4. Excuse me.
count four at $2,500, 250.
Ok, sí. El 4 a $2,500.
You better wake up.
Count
Man, I was so tired when I got home this morning.
count five, that's $2,500.
El cargo número 5 son $2,500.
Count six, $500.
Hey, thank
Y
you,
el
Gio.
6, $500.
Judge, I didn't quite hear you on count 1, organized fraud, because based on the amount of loss, there's different degrees of felonies. If it's over 50,000, it's a first. If it's 20 to 50, it's a second. 20,000 or less is the third. I didn't hear if you said 15 or 5050.
15,000.
Ah, sí, perdón, $15,000, no 50,000, como indica su abogado. Hay distintos grados de fraude organizado. Puede ser un delito mayor de primer grado, segundo grado, tercer grado. Son 15,000.
So
Judge, would
that's
the court consider a 10,000 for count 1, given that there's argument as to whether it's a first or a second degree?
Se consideraría $10,000 de fianza, dado que puede ser de primero un delito grave de primer grado, segundo grado. La juez responde que no.
There's a
Thank you,
statement
Judge.
in regards to the victim, alleged victim with initials AV cannot have any contact if he's ever to post direct or indirect, has to stay 500 feet away from victim with initials AV. Okay?
Bueno, tiene una orden de alejamiento de la víctima con las iniciales AB, no puede tener contacto directo o indirecto, por escrito, por terceros, tiene que permanecer al menos a 500 pies de la víctima, su casa, lugar de trabajo y de estudios.
Any other cases that need to be called out of turn for any lawyers?
hey, so I was so tired this morning when I got
I don't
home.
think there's any other private attorneys left.
Thank you.
I forgot
Let me see here.
I forgot to turn the stream on the
On
5 o'clock,
page 7,
the 5 a.m. stream. That's how tired I was. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, damn, I forgot to put the 5 a.m. stream, if you will. Holy shit.
did we skip Joseph Doyle on page 5?
He's
No,
should be.
he's here.
He's present, Judge.
Okay, all right. Is this Mr. Doyle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon. All right, Mr. Doyle, we're here before the court. Today, it's alleged that on March 27th, in the vicinity of the 400 Kings Point Drive and Sunny Isles Boulevard, you committed the following offenses. 1 count of battery on a law enforcement officer or correctional officer, 1 count of resisting an officer without violence, 1 count of criminal mischief, $200 or less, 1 count of disorderly intoxication. I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you in this case. I don't see, is this his first offense?
So he's from, it looks like Indiana. I don't know if it's Indiana or Illinois. He's from out of state.
Okay.
I think it's Illinois. I do see prior arrests out of state.
What kind of work? I rather not say what kind of work I do. I don't want this my social media life to conflict with my work life. People at work are animals, if you will. He was on spring break. He was going girls gone wild. Janitor, it's okay. Nah, I'm not a janitor, but if I was,
Any
it
argument?
would still be a job, so I wouldn't be tripping.
Not with regard to probable cause, Judge, no.
But the type of work I do, you guys wouldn't imagine what
All
kind of
right, I'm
work I do.
setting bond as follows in count one, which is the battery, $5,000. Count two, 1,000. Counts 3 and 4, 100 each. So the total bond should be $6,200 with a stay away order.
Judge, would you consider the standard bond for count two? Standard bond is 500.
I will. So, just so the corrections is 5,000 count one, 500 count two,
Administrative secretary.
100 and 100 count 3 and 4 respectively. So the bond is 5,700. With a stay away order, Mr. Doyle, if you're able to post the bond, one of the conditions is you cannot have any contact, direct or indirect, the alleged victim in the case whose initials are KK. You have to stay at least 500 feet away from this person, his home, place of employment, or school. In addition to which, you also have to stay away from coastal towers. They don't want you anywhere near 400 Kings Point Drive and Sunny Isles Boulevard. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you will.
Next case is Camellon
Figueroa.
Fernandez.
An added charge, it happened at the jail.
Did
And he has a
somebody
hold
say
for
stash?
immigration.
Pages is on.
And you'd be surprised how many comments I'll be getting about this stash. This stash will be breaking necks if you
Here it
want.
is.
My wife hates it, which reminds me, hopefully she's not on because then she's going to tell me to cut it off. Then I got to grow it back again a week later.
Camellon Fernandez.
Dope Mario soundbite. It's me, Mario.
Is number 12 here corrections, or is he in the hospital?
Oh, Andy.
And you said this was an added charge?
Embassy.
Ms. Cole, you want to waive it if he's got the ice holds?
He's got an ice hold too?
Yes. This is a battery on police officer, correction officer, firefighter, and transit.
Right, apparently they're on lockdown and he wanted to use the bathroom before they locked down for the night and the officer sprayed him with mace. And then he may have broken nose and ribs. And they didn't bring him to court for some unknown reason.
So what do you want to do? You want to roll it over or it's up to you?
Yes, Judge, if we can come to court tomorrow.
Reset for tomorrow?
What was it, NBC?
Not before court, correct.
Okay.
Next case is Jorge Izalde. Thank you again.
Jorge Isarde.
He received a dollar bond on his traffic case.
Okay, this is Mr. Izalde?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Izalde, good afternoon. I have an arrest affidavit here that says that on March 26th of this year, in the area of I-95 North and Northwest 79th Street, you committed the following offenses. 1 count of aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer. 1 count of fleeing and eluding a police officer with lights
They do look
and
like-
siren. 1 count of, well, that's the traffic, the reckless driving. Okay, so it's count 1 and 2. The state of Florida has filed a motion for pretrial detention. On count 1, asking to be held no bond.
Hey, Juan, I'm here for the
So
clout,
Judge,
Juan.
on count 1, I would ask that you find public cause.
Trying to
for,
get my
at
clout
best, aggravated
game up,
assault
if
on
you
law
will.
enforcement officer. Nothing indicating that the officer was directly hit by Mr. Izalde.
And I was being sarcastic about
think
that, about
For
getting the
there to
clout.
be probable cause for an aggravated battery rather than an aggravated assault, there needs to be some kind of injury, and it does say that the detective suffered from and was treated for a head injury based upon
you
the
will.
defendant colliding with the officer's vehicle.
Looks like he was treated on the scene by fire rescue, so it doesn't look like it was a serious injury.
Damn, man, we just hit 20,000 K likes. Highly appreciated. Hey, did you guys see that standoff in Figueroa yesterday? Was it in Figueroa or somewhere in South LA? Kate sent me a message with a direct link. I was like, what? I logged
All right,
in.
I'm making finding a probable cause. I do find probable cause as charged on count 1. He's going to be held no bond. I'm granting the state's request for pretrial detention. And I'm setting also count 2 at $2,500.
With the standoff? I only watched it for like a minute or two. They what? They did?
Next case is
Nah.
Vladimir Perez.
Is the DA eating her hair? It looks like she's eating her hair. What the hell is going on over there? It looks like she has a mouthful
Mr.
of
Perez
hair,
looks
if
like
you
he's out
will.
on bond in case number 25, F25 21223 in front of Judge Stuzen.
Mr. Perez is present. He speaks English.
Okay, Mr. Susan, did you hear that? I mean, Mr. Susan. Perez, you know it's getting late.
Long day.
Mr. Perez, I just advise corrections that it appears that you are out on felony bond in case number
She's on
F25
a sick one.
21223, which appears to be some kind of burglary related offenses. So you'll be held no bond on this case until you appear in front of that judge. Today, you have before the court an affidavit that says that on March 24th of this year in the area of 1439 Alton Road, Miami Beach,
Hey, what
you've
up, Laura?
alleged to have committed the following offenses. 1 count of burglary of an unoccupied structure, which is a third-degree felony. 1 count
Thank
of
you.
criminal mischief of $1,000 or more, which is a third-degree felony, and 1 count of grand theft in the third degree, another third-degree felony. I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you. I'm going to be taking a look at the arrest affidavit and determine
What up,
if there's
Starkey?
probable cause for these offenses, and if so, what the bond amount is going to be. Understood? Okay.
You know, I don't know that DA. There's something about her eyes. Like she just looks like she looks empty, if you will. Like her mind's not here. Her body's here, but her mind's not here. Whatever she's doing. Like, oh, there she's eating her hair again. Like, hey, relax, girl. You're on TikTok live and YT. Es la craca. Es la craca. Or is she looking at my TikTok right now? She's like, man, let me see what I would look like if I had a mustache like James, if you will.
How many AC units are involved here? Because there's a count of
$12,000.
Oh, those are the brackets, I think.
I think just 1.
Okay. And 1 burger.
I don't even think she took a shower today. She probably just rolled out of bed like
All right.
5 minutes before the court started. And she said, vámonos.
$2,500 counts 1, $2,500 count 2, $2,500 count 3.
She's a shadow of her
Yes,
former
if he's
self.
able to post a bond, has to stay away from Classic Way, located 1439 Alton Road in Miami Beach. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Now she has the pen in her mouth now.
Mayor,
You go back to number
Get
16, just to verify count 3, because we have 500. The clerk said you wrote 7,500.
Hey,
I don't
nothing
have
wrong with
paperwork.
that.
Is that Paraguay Marine?
I used to do it too when I
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
work from home.
Okay, I don't know what the paperwork is.
Toda
Clerk
hedionda.
has it.
Can I take a look at it?
Ay, ay, ay. There she goes again. She's trying to put the James mustache special on right now.
Let me see. Hold on, let me take a look at that. Count 5 is 500. Is that the one you're asking about? Doesn't make sense. Count 6, I'm sorry. Count 6.
Can I verify the bonds that we have? You told us count 1, 15,000, count 2, 5,000, count 3, we have 500, count 4, 2,500, count 5, 2,500, and count 6, 500.
No, count 3 is 7,500, 7,500. That's a second degree felony. The only one for 500 is count 6. I'll read them to you again. Count 1 is 15000, 15,000. Count 2 is 5,000, 5000. Count 3 is 7,500, 7,500. Counts 4 and 5 are $2,500 each, 2,500, and count 6, 500.
Yeah.
Got it?
Wanga.
All right, Mr. Is it Sykes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. All right, you are before the court. Looks like charged with one count of possession of cannabis with intent to sell
Damn, not
within
the
1,000
reefer.
feet of a school, or just school is what it says. It's a second degree felony, and this supposedly took place on March 26th in the area of 100 block of 6th Street in Miami Beach. I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you. I don't see anything open on this gentleman except this.
Well, he's from Atlanta.
Okay.
No local ties.
Got it. Okay. Let me take a look at the school is Lemus, or the park, Lemus Park, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Damn, this one ain't going nowhere. And you know, it's wild to me, you know, because I come from California where, you know, it's legal, you know, for recreational use or for medicinal use. So, you know, you hear about states like Florida and Texas where it's still against the law. It definitely leaves me scratching my head. Same for New York.
Okay.
They don't be playing around.
$7,500 bond with a stay away order. Sir, if you ever post bond, you cannot go anywhere near Lemus Park, which is located on 5th to 15th Street, Washington Avenue.
Okay,
to the
hey,
ocean,
that's what's
Miami
up.
Beach. That's the address that we have there.
Yeah, so there's a lot of states
100
that.
block of 6th Street. You have it here. 5th to 15th Street.
That's, I think the area of Lemus Park is on the state.
Damn,
order,
25
the whole
for-
park.
Understood, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I think it was 7,500, but he had a bunch of other charges. So it was 75 here, 25 over here, and next thing we know, he has a bill of 25,000. I wasn't counting, but you know,
Kenny?
I'm sure it was up there. It was up there like at least 20 G's.
Oh, wait a minute. This gentleman has another. Does he have another case?
No, there's another defendant, Ismail.
I missed that one. Hold on. Amir.
One was 15.
Ismail?
Okay, you see, yeah, shit adds up real quick. You see, 7. Yeah.
Is this Mr. Ismail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Whatever.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You're here before the court, sir, because it's alleged that on March 27th, in the vicinity of 150 Northwest 21st Street in Miami, you committed the offense of defrauding an innkeeper for $1,000 or more, which is a third-degree felony. I've appointed the public defender's office.
Judge, it looks like there might be a private attorney here. They haven't identified themselves.
Okay, let's
say they're a private attorney for this case.
I'm gonna promote that person. They've been here.
I'm an attorney, Mr. Ismail.
I'm gonna promote Judge.
Defrauded an interpreter. I don't think that's what they said.
Video. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear someone.
We can't see you.
Are you able to hear or see me?
We can hear you. We can't see you. Now we can see you.
I have been waiting since 1 o'clock.
Oh no.
I have seen the judge sign off when she did, and I saw your honor sign on again at 2:20. I have put my name into the chat. I have put my name into Q's and A's, and for the life of me, with all respect to the system, why have I waited over 2.5 hours?
What is your name, sir?
Lion Greenblatt.
He's a feisty one.
That's not what your text message says. It says lie 999-207 on Greenblatt. We don't
Oh
have
my gosh.
Greenblatt on the calendar, sir.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. I put my name in Lion Greenblatt on. Nonetheless, Your Honor, I'm here for Mr. Amir
Más dundo.
Ismael.
Un semejante dundo.
I'm not going to belabor the point. I understand the nature of the charge. He offered to take one of the personnel to a place where he had sufficient funds to pay the balance. They refused. It seemed to me they wanted his gold Rolex instead. Would Your Honor kindly set the bond at the $2,500 that was originally scheduled?
Yes, sir. Done.
Judge, if I may, I want to thank you for the courtesy and my peek, because I'm not familiar with the webinar. I'm familiar in all the other jurisdictions where the Zoom seems to be functioning slightly differently, and I apologize for my lack of technical skills. I really, truly do.
You could even maybe reduce it more. Maybe, I know he's got some money he's got to pay off his bar tab with.
We're going to pay the bar tab as soon as he gets out.
I paid, Your Honor.
This who ran up a
Consider
bar
an
tab?
ROR and get him out and let him pay this bill lickety split.
The hell?
I'm not gonna warn him, but maybe he's entitled, maybe he'll qualify for pretrial services. Does he have anything?
He's not going to qualify for pretrial because he's not local.
Okay, in that case, we'll stick with the bond and I'll have his friend posted immediately. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Your Honor. And again, I apologize for my technical lack of skills. Truly, I am a Luddite, which is a good word.
He should have
to
just
know,
paid the
Madam
freaking
Secretary.
bond. It's cheaper than a lawyer.
2,500.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I seek permission to leave?
You want to stay any longer, sir?
You
No.
talking to me or Mr.?
I was kidding. I was kidding because you've been here all day.
Well, I'm glad you have a sense of humor. You've put me right back on track. Thank you, Madam Judge, and thank you, State.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon all. Bye-bye.
Likewise. Jamie McKinney?
This vato ran up a tab, couldn't pay it, got his ass locked up, and he had to hire a lawyer. Oh, make that shit make sense to me. And he had a Rolex Rice Ostrich. Good
Mr.
eye,
McKinney?
Rolex or
Good
Ostrich.
afternoon, sir. You're before the court. It's alleged that on today, March 27th, in the area of SA Recycling, located at 1015 Northwest 72nd Street in Miami, you committed the offense of burglary of an unoccupied structure and petty theft. Appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Here we go. All that drama for walking out on a bar
Doesn't matter
tab.
what feels about tap, if not a bond.
I would ask for tap, Judge. Mr. McKinney's homeless.
This is
I think he's stealing scrap metal.
Probably. Yeah, those places are air conditioned.
No, we don't have anybody here for tap.
They
Okay,
got that
I'll make the
recycle
tap
there.
reply. Alternate bond. First count will be 2,500, second count, $1. Okay, what's the return date on this? April, what did we say?
I think we said the 28th.
28th, that's what the clerk just told me.
You said count 2 is $1.
Yes. Okay, and he's gonna be referred to TAP, that's the alternate bond. 2,500 first count, $1 of the second count, and he needs to show up in courtroom. I forgot the courtroom number.
Matter 6-4.
Thank you.
6-4 on April 20th at 9 PM. Good luck to you, sir.
Hey, just give me a heads up. I'm gonna be logging off
Knock
in the
them out.
next
So this one, if you're
few
already trying
minutes.
PC, just count 1. We don't need to set it for a PCH.
If you do want to continue watching, I would suggest jumping over to YT. I'm gonna leave the
Is this
stream
Mr.
running.
Revolt?
As a matter of
No.
fact, we got Maricopa coming up at 2. So
Okay, what happened to, where's Bo?
It was set for PCH tomorrow, but I don't know if Ms. Corey wants to waive his presence.
So he's not here because set for PCH for tomorrow.
Tomorrow, instead of for,
Is there any way to get him over here? Corrections?
it's set for tomorrow.
He's down the hall, Judge. If we can get him out today instead of sitting
Can't
overnight.
get
Michael
you
Leva?
on YT.
Is this Mr. Leva?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Mr. Pipa, your report, it's alleged that yesterday you committed the following offenses in the vicinity of Northwest 12th Avenue and Flagler Street. One count of possession with intent to sell and manufacture marijuana. One count of resisting an officer without violence to his person, and one count of possession with intent to use drug paraphernalia. What does he have? Let's see here. Okay, this is a hand-to-hand.
Hand to hand. Have a great evening, if you will. Thank you, Ostrich. Highly appreciate that. I'm be tired as hell today.
Does he have anything open?
He's on probation, I believe.
Okay, this is a third. Okay, so count one is $2,500. Count two and three, $500 each.
For those of you that are
$3,500 total.
You say he's out on probation?
Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I apologize. I see probation, but maybe it's the wrong defendant.
What's the case number?
I got F22-10601. I'll run it. Hold on.
for those of you that are on YouTube, I'm gonna transfer over to the other stream, which is the same stream as this one, but obviously I won't be there. But you'll be able to continue
Is that
watching
a
it.
whole judge?
What's the case number? If he's on probation, there has to be a hold
Thanks,
on
Vic.
case, yes.
F22-10601 and F22-901A.
Hey, I'm working on that, Nicole.
Okay.
That's on my to-do list.
Bravo Leal, Bravo Leal.
Can you interpreter, please?
He has a hold for immigration. You see the dollar bonds on each one of his traffic cases.
If we ain't going nowhere.
So he's got a nice hold. All right, Mr. Bravo Leal, you are before the court. It's alleged that you committed today the offense of criminal mischief, $1,000 or more, which is a third-degree felony, and domestic violence battery, first-degree misdemeanor.
Ok.
Yeah, they are in handcuffs. Yeah.
Señor, se le imputa de haber cometido una
Órale,
Criminal
bigotes, hacen
criminal
minds,
mischief,
carnales. Gracias for.
daños a la propiedad, excuse me, daños a la propiedad por más de $1,000 o más, lo cual es un delito grave en tercer grado, y también por una agresión de violencia doméstica, que es un delito menor en este caso.
I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you. The alleged victim is Auribel Estrada Garces.
He nombrado al abogado de oficio para que lo represente. La víctima supuesta es Auribel Estrada Garcel.
Mr. 4.0. What was it? Was it domestic? Was it domestic that he caught?
Count one, $2,500.
There's no value for count one. Looks like second degree misdemeanor.
Well, maybe increase the bond because of the facts.
Property damage. Okay, thank you for that.
Smashed out windows in the victim's car.
Hey, she's right. Did you say how much?
It's true.
YT's
So
unsafe.
that becomes a misdemeanor.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that's all
Bueno,
about.
se está debatiendo, la fiscal pide que la juez dice $2,500 por el primer cargo, la fiscal pide que le pongan más porque rompió las ventanillas del carro.
There's no value. Okay, so count one, $100, count two, $500. So that's total $600 with a stay away order. And
Cargo número uno, $100, cargo número
up,
dos,
Lex?
$200.
at a stay away order, he cannot go anywhere near. He was able to post bond, although he's got an immigration hold. Oh, he has a stay away from Auribel Estrada Garces.
Tiene una orden de alejamiento de Auribel Estrada Garcel, tiene una retención de inmigración.
Good luck to you, sir. Okay.
Vayas con
Mackey,
Dios.
Andres Mackey,
Andres Maki.
He's a fugitive from Broward County being held no bond.
All right, guys, I gotta get going. But like I said, if you're on YT, I'm gonna transfer you over guys over to the other stream. It'll transfer you guys automatically. I do appreciate you guys, and here you go. If you're on